you know. Hey there, friendlies. I know a Sunday live stream is not my usual speed. However, I did not get the time to do a video this week at any point. Sometimes I do a video like a few days early, and I time it for Sunday release. Sometimes I do it Sunday itself and get it up really late. There was no time for either of those this week. So, what am I doing? I'm live streaming. I'm just taking a look at everything. I've got so many windows up, and I'm going to shut them all down. Shut them down. I'm not going to shut them all down, but I'm going to shut some down. So, here we go. Hold on a second here. Boom. All right. So, where was I? Oh, so many windows. So, where was I? Yeah. So that's why I'm doing this live stream. No time to do a Sunday video, but I still got to get something up on Sunday because that's what I promised myself. Hey, Wood Pigeon, how's it going? I think it's just you and me this lonely night so far. This desk is an epic mess. So excuse me while I do a little cleanup as we chat. Okay? Just a little cleanup as we chat. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about something. Working on your workshop? How's that coming? Oh, I've got an itchy back. How's the workshop coming? I just found like 6. Oh, you ordered in tools. What the hell? What did you get? Anything big? Anything nasty? Big old tools? Big old tools. Everything by Friday? Nice. I also ordered in some stuff. I ordered in the belt grinder. What kind? Can't go wrong with a belt grinder, man. That's going to let you do all kinds of stuff. I think a belt grinder was one of the finest things I got for my workshop because, like, for knife making and stuff, a belt grinder is a good tool, but also for just cheap on Amazon. Okay. All right. But I was thinking about, workshop tools is sometimes starting cheap is not the way to go because you get sort of a lousy idea of what a tool can be. But sometimes starting cheap is just, the way you get a tool in that you need. Yeah, maybe it won't last a long time, but you need the tool in so that you can get the job done. I have several cheapo tools in my workshop, and I know that the longevity is not necessarily there, but man, I keep looking at these damned. I told you guys that I ordered some stuff off of wish.com just to see, how, just to see what kind of stuff you got. And like I ordered 88 drill bits. But I mean, look at how small they are. Right? Boom. Look at that. How am I going to use that for? Fire steels, maybe. Like if I want to put I have this thing where I want to, yeah, that's a good point. Wood pigeon. I have this thing. Here's what I'd like to do. Do I have a pencil? Yeah, but that's this HB? No, that's a 5H. You guys will never see anything. What's this? It's an 8B. Okay, so I'll draw lightly so that it doesn't. I'll find something to draw. here's what I'd like to do. And I'm not sure how possible this is going to be with my current set of tools, but I'd like to start making ferro rods. Okay, real simple design. I mean, look at ferro rods. Okay, so here's your rod. Okay, I'll draw it darker. I'll be right back here, guys. Okay, here's what I would like to do. Okay, here's the ferro rod into the wooden handle, right? You got a lanyard hole here, and then like a brass pin through it. Like I would put epoxy and then a brass pin through, because that one that I made for Camille, you remember? You guys saw that. Did all you guys see the video where I showed the ferro rod I made out of like an old wooden razor handle for Camille? Like you guys have seen it in any video where she's starting a fire, like last summer or something. That's the fire steel. That's the ferro rod. But I had to epoxy it in twice because it started to sort of shake loose. So I have this idea. I mean, obviously you drill slowly when you're drilling through a ferro rod, I imagine. I just think it would like lock it in, right? You epoxy it and you stick a brass pin through it, and then you just sand the whole thing, the whole thing flat. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I have a bunch of ferrocerium rods to use. Robin just got a lathe, so maybe. Hey, Austin, how's it going? Hiking Deep, hey. You don't have your glasses. All right, Hiking Deep, that's fine. Don't worry. Just sort of howl at the screen every now and again or something. Type a period so we know you're still there. Jill is off to a women's outdoor event called Sweet. Really? Austin, you spent the first night out in the tent last night. Nice. Oh, the rooftop tent. Yeah, how was that? How'd that go? Were you cold? I wouldn't have wanted to stay in a tent last night. No, it's tonight I wouldn't want to stay. Well, last night it was rainy and kind of wet. Today it was freezing rainy, and now it's sort of a crispy snow kind of thing, you know? So Hiking Deep, Wood Pigeon was just telling me that he ordered in some tools for the workshop he's putting together. You guys want to see what I just ordered in? I have the parts ordered, most of the parts for a project. Now, outdoor is not here, but I will still say I'm not about to walk off screen, so nobody keep count, okay? Hold on. Wood Pigeon, Sweet stands for sweet women engaging, empowering together. Is it like a camping weekend, kind of a outdoorsy thing, or is it just a women's empowerment get together and they happen to be staying outdoors? Hold on. Somebody. It's cold, but we stayed pretty warm, and it's so much better than sleeping on the ground. I can imagine especially if it's like at around this time when on the I can put the period. Thanks, man. Staying on the ground at this time of year would probably be pretty hard on some of our old bones. So here's what I got. Here's what I got. Oh, did I just step off screen? Sorry, guys. Oh, man, my back. I was In Camille's room, Camille and Clemence's room, there are two like IKEA bookshelves, and I was, attaching them to the walls. But the thing is, it's on a concrete wall, well, a cement wall. But this house was built in 1951, so up there, the walls are cement, but between the houses, it's like cement. But then there's a space. So I'm drilling my screws, and I'm like reefing on them, and just, and then I rats. So they're not as solid as I'd like them to be, but they're not unsolid. Insolid? Non-solid? I don't know. Woodridge, I'm guessing a bit of both. Okay. Send pics of the Instagram. Yep, sure thing. Did you do that? Do 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 do. Oh, nice setup. Wait, you were just staying out in the. That's an and you've got the lantern. Can I show these? Or like, can I show one of them? Obviously not the one with your face on it, or anything with your license plate number. Can I show the one with the lantern? Wood pigeon. Hold on, let me just drop the. Okay. Now I'm trying something new here. I've dropped the contrast on my phone way down. Look at that tent, guys, and look at that lantern. I want one of those so hard. The orange is really nice. So here's what I got. Hey, Jeff R Videos, how's it going? I have a heatsink. I think that's what this is called. CPU cooler tower. A CPU cooler. And I have 32 gigs of RAM. And I have a couple of hard drives. An SSD. I have a processor. And I have a motherboard. Because as I was telling you guys, I've been telling you guys that I'm going to build a Hackintosh. I've been talking about it for months now. And I finally just decided, look, I got to stop talking about it and put my money where my mouth is. And it's very stressful. Oh, and this other box here is a case. And back there, I've got a new monitor. I was like, I got to do it. I've been saving up slowly. So I bought the parts. I'm still waiting on some stuff. Like our friend Wood Pigeon is waiting. He's waiting on stuff. I'm waiting on stuff. I'm waiting on my video card. I'm waiting on my power supply. I find this very stressful because I buy an Apple computer every time, and it just works. I don't have to hike another period. Yes, Wood Pigeon, you do need a fire extinguisher. Anyway, so this getting a Hackintosh set up is it's non-trivial, shall we say. Perfect. It's very time-consuming, and part of what was so time-consuming, even at the get-go, was researching all my parts. Because if you're building a Hackintosh, your selection of parts is very narrow. It's narrowed down to stuff that will work with Mac OS. If I was just building a PC, no problem. Everything works with Windows, right? So I shall be doing that fairly soon. And the thing is, I kind of want to do a video about it. It doesn't. I mean, it falls within the purview of Rain Dance Bushcraft, because the reason I bought all these damn parts is because doing my videos is choking the crap out of this 2013 computer. You know, but you know, the channel is way more about like axes and woodcraft than it is about tech, you know. So I don't know. Maybe I'll resurrect my other channel, Jesse Corbet, my currently dormant channel. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? It's over now? Boom, baby. All right. I'll leave it on. I hung that lamp today, but I couldn't find the light bulb. I think the wife found a light bulb while doing some cleaning. Hey, Tyler. You're in Tennessee? Cook bacon in the woods and build your computer simultaneously. Done. Okay, I'll do that. I wish oh, Tyler, you're doing a hike a day for the whole week? Nice. You got something to hold over me too, man. That's nice. I like it. So yeah, so I'm hoping that that this will make the video production thing go just a little faster. I'm also, hey Simo. So once all these computer parts are here, like all the rest of the parts are here, I'll be building it and then struggling with drivers and stuff. Oh, so good. So yeah, what part of Tennessee? I have an ex who whose family owns a stables in Tennessee. I'm just looking it up, in fact. It's called Runaway Farms. Pretty sure this is it. Kingston, Tennessee. Yeah. My girlfriend, my ex is not related, is not in any way involved in this stables, but I shall put a URL. But her family owns it. Boom. Guessing you're not allowed to type in Morse code. I guess I could. Didn't you just type SOS up there? Always hear of Quebec and think of snooty French Canadians in the city. Are they like French Canadian rednecks? Jesus, man, there are millions. Are you kidding me? Most of this province is rural, right? You got some like fairly large. You got, I guess, 3 big urban. I don't know, Simone. What would you say? Right? There's Montreal, Laval. Like there's a Montreal area. There's Quebec, Lévis, Sherbrooke. Is there any other like big towns, like big cities? But most of hiking deep. Every time you pook, I have to tell the chat to show it. I don't know what they call them. We just sort of call those areas. We call it région, which is region, because everything makes sense here, right? But I don't know if there's an actual term for them. She's from Quebec City, eh? No, she's not. Where's she from? But the thing about Quebec is, you go to any specific region, and people are very different from the other regions. Like you go up around the Saguenay, that's sort of the heartland of Quebec separatism. Still fabulous area. I would love to live in the Saguenay. I would spend all my time in the boreal forest every day. Along the upper North Shore, there's a whole section up sort of when you're getting near Labrador that is 80% Anglophone. But they got this real now wood pigeons doing it. Every time you guys do a period, I have to tell it to show that, right? Yeah, so there's this whole stretch along the upper North Shore near Labrador that's all Anglophone, but the English up there is French inflected in a way that it's not in Montreal. Montreal English is very unique. It's like the only place where you say, you open and close the light. I just closed the light. I just opened the light. Like that's acceptable, proper Montreal English. There's all kinds of things like that. When you ask at a store, you ask if they have something on stock instead of in stock, and I think that's an Anglicism of est-ce que t'as ça en stock? Which is in, but in English we say on. In Montreal English we say on stock. I don't use that one, but up there they don't pronounce the H on the front of words, or they'll add the H. It's like Francophone speaking English in some ways. It's a weird sound. And then, of course, in the Gaspé, nobody understands what they're saying in either language. Where were we? But yeah, so I mean, that's that. The thing is, I didn't really have anything specific to talk to you guys about, which is why I showed you the computer parts and stuff. I didn't have time to get a video done today. Things just sort of kept getting in the way. But it's funny. I was thinking about something when I was in university. Let me move this so that I can do the elbows thing. When I was in university, I did a class. I didn't have a choice. This was a unit in one of the classes, the main classes, on pirate radio. And I graduated in 2000. So when I was in university, pirate radio was still a thing. It was before the age of podcasting. And I think about this a lot because I listen to a lot of podcasts and I want to get back into podcasting. When this channel is big enough, I'm definitely going to start a bushcraft podcast. I think we're getting to the point where there are some out there. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them really are not. I bought this microphone that I've been using. I bought that microphone specifically to podcast with when I was running I was co-hosting a science podcast. But like the advent of podcast has kicked the whole pirate radio thing out the door. There's almost no pirate radio left, because you don't need it. Everyone podcasts and broadcasts that way. It's a next generation thing, but podcasting doesn't have the swagger of having an unlicensed radio station, and I think so. Whereas podcasting is legally safer than pirate radio, everyone kind of wants to. Everyone has at least a small side of them that wants to be a pirate, and we all kind of like the scoundrel, and that goes from, I mean, not serious badasses, but everyone likes just a little edge. That's why this is so damn popular, right? Who's your favorite Star Wars character? Han Solo, of course. And if it's not about this, you like Firefly. I mean, some people like Luke, but those people are boring. And I miss the days of pirate radio because there was a real adventuresome thing happening to anyone who bought the equipment, stuck up a tower, and started broadcasting. That's not there in podcasting. Anthony, how much RAM and storage are you going to have on the new computer? Okay, for the RAM, I currently have 32 gig. sitting in the box, and I'm going to add another 32 as I do gigs and get some more money. For the storage, I've got a 500 gig SSD there. There's a 1 terabyte one coming at some point, and I have 2 terabyte hard drives, which I'm going to use as a RAID, like a mirrored RAID. I'm going to dual boot this thing. I haven't figured out how I'm going to split it down just yet. This laptop is dual booted. It's a 500 gig drive, split down the middle, Mac OS and Windows. And I'm hurting for space, so I'm going to do it differently. I may do the 1 terabyte drive as a Mac OS gig drive, and the 500 gig as a Windows drive, and just use the mirror drives for files on the Mac side, because the only thing I use Windows for is gaming. I think that's the only thing Windows is good for, But anyway, so yeah, so far that's where I am. The chip, the processor is not the high end Intel, but it's pretty good. Let me see. Oh, where did I put it? Where did that go? i7 8700K. Now, for the Intel stuff, there's always like an 8700 and an 8700K, 9700, 9700K, 77 blah, and the K means it doesn't come with the cooling on it, because the cooling they come with isn't worth the money. To cool it, that's what this is for, right? This is a fan. I didn't go for liquid cooling because I kind of had to keep I had to keep the prices down. If you're buying 32 gigs of RAM and a halfway decent motherboard and everything, you got to sort of keep your prices down else. So that's what my cooling is going to be. If it's too loud, I'll change it up, but later. I'm just going to get the damn computer working for now. See where that takes me, No parts of French Canada where people may be related to their siblings through questionable lineage. Yes, there are. In fact, there's a section of up near the Saguenay or Lac Saint Jean area where everyone's last name is Tremblay, and there's an illness that is so specific to that area because it's so inbred that it's there are people in that area studying the lineage constantly. But it's like there are damn rednecks in every province and state practically. Maybe not Connecticut because the place isn't big enough to have a rural population. But generally speaking, I mean, we're not that different than other people, no matter what Alberta says. For a great VR experience. For the record, I didn't get VR glasses and I ain't planning to. So yeah, this is a 3.7 gigahertz chip. 12 megabyte cache. It's pretty standard. There's a higher chip available, but as I said, you can't just keep spending and spending. So where were we? It's 2 specific diseases. Okay. Serge, hey. Yeah, well, yeah, we're talking Hackintosh. Here's the deal. You came on a little late, but I didn't have time to make a video for this week. So I just said, well, I promised Sunday and Tuesday, or Sunday and one live stream every week. So Serge, you will be pleased to see that the computer, it's a computer, that the camera is working. When Serge and I were shooting our video, my video, suddenly the camera stopped working. It was like, can't read the card. I got home, and much to my relief, the footage on the card was intact, which is how I got a video up last week. But then yesterday, I was like, I better check the camera because I was going to shoot something today. So I popped the card in and couldn't read the card again. So I was like, oh no. So then I did like format the card. Can't format the card. Insert another card or blah blah blah. No, because when something goes wrong with one of these boys and you send it in, it's like online someone said that they had that problem and it was a $300 to $400 repair, which when you've just spent all of your savings on Hackintosh parts, you don't want, But it seems to be working, so I'm going to try and shoot something this week. Make sure. So yeah. So someone was talking about the Mac Mini on a YouTube video I was watching this week. It made me think of you. You could launch the space shuttle with all that computer power. You can, because they don't have space shuttles going up anymore. But when they did, NASA has never been on the bleeding edge of. No, that's not true. When NASA was sending people to the moon with technology that was nowhere near as good as this, they were on the bleeding edge for the 60s and the 70s, but they have not been bleeding edge in many, many years. But it's amazing what you can do with low level. I mean, the tech that's on like Mars rovers and stuff, it's not impressive in a in a gaming sense, shall we say, but yeah, because you don't need the requirements you need for like an embedded systems computer, for instance, which is probably what shuttles mostly worked on and NASA missions mostly worked on. Not the same as what you need for something like this, where you've got a graphical user interface, and or if you're playing Skyrim, or in my case, like you're 300 hours into Mass Effect 2 or something, So I don't know. Man, we went from 13 viewers down to 8. Shiza. Who did we lose? But yeah. Pirate Radio. I miss those days. Now, in those days, I mean, I was going to film school, right? But for us, cutting and splicing was done with a razor blade and Scotch tape. So when I started doing my YouTube stuff, I mean, I'm still playing catch up. My color correction still needs work. It's a very different world. Video is a very, very different world than it was when I was in film school, using using a camera where you had to change there was this big black bag that you put the camera in to change the film when you were out shooting stuff, Oh, so different. Mark, are you the one who sent me these dice from Las Vegas? It's one of you guys. They're really cool. I've got like dice all over this desk for some reason. I don't know why. So I got those. Somewhere here I've got something else that I sort of threw in the corner, and no, who the hell was it? Was it Anthony? Modern day calculator is more computer powered than the Apollo rockets. I have heard the same thing, and I believe it. I really, really do. What is all this crap? This desk is a nightmare. Oh, here we go. Little box of dice. I don't know where this thing O dice came from, but they're old as hell. Gotta love the smell of like these are old, scrappy. They're beat to hell. There's 5 of them. I don't know what you use 5 matching dice for. Like this is, I mean, the plastic is even getting all scratched up. craps. Is craps 5 dice? I thought that was like 2. I thought that's what these were for. But yeah, Yahtzee. I have not thought about that game in years. So yeah, when I get this thing built, I'm gonna redo this whole little area a little bit. I'm gonna put some storage up near the ceiling, just to get some of this crap. And then I'm gonna hang this right in the middle, right here, so that I can just look up and dream. Yeah. The reason I have this down here is because we're also cleaning my daughter's room today, and I bought this and gave it to her. I bought it on a whim while we were in like New York at the Disney store or some damn thing, and this was on wicked sale, and I think it's because it's got the original trilogy dish and the new trilogy 5 landing gear instead of 3. 5 tabernacle. Tabernacle is a very bad word. It's probably the worst word you can say in French Canadian swearing. So I'm very sorry about that. I know that there are some French Canadians on ce soir. 5 landing gear instead of 3. So that's probably why this is on wicked sale. They're probably selling it off because they had to be, they had to re-release it with the proper blah blah or something. Anyway, I gave it to Camille. And as we were cleaning her room, it was decided that it could come back downstairs. Because Camille hasn't played with it in months. So, use the force. Simone's keeping us up to date with guidance. Oh, and shuttle control. I'm actually going to click that. It's... I was having this conversation at work with a friend at work, the day job. And we almost never feel the world change. If you're living through times of immense change, you almost never feel the change. It's generations later that look back and see the changes for what they were, Like when I was born, there was no space shuttle yet. When I was born, the United States was still getting its ass kicked in Vietnam, When I was born, it was still the dying days of the Apollo program, right? I was born in 1972. So a lot of the things we see as being 60s things were coming to an end the year that I was born, But we also look at that time as being a time of immense change. And wait, your grandson's name is Kylo? It was Hal. But right now we're living in a time of immense change. 2008 was an immense change. But when you're living through a recession like that or something, you don't see it as a world-changing event, or you don't feel the massive changes. People who lived through the fall of the Roman Empire in some parts of Europe felt the changes. In other parts, they didn't. And I wonder what people are going to look back on this time and see. A time before nanotech was de rigueur or something, I think we're on sort of a slow march towards totalitarianism in many ways. And I think that the world may get very dramatic before it gets better. But you don't live every day soaked in a sense of historical perspective, I lived through the end of pirate radio, like I was talking about, very few people even noticed the passing of pirate radio. Very few people really felt the passing of actual physical film. You know, there's no film in this. It's a card. When I was in film school, we used film. You know, or the people who were doing the TV were using like these big 1/4-inch tapes. You know. So it's just interesting, and when I was like in my geek days, there were some computer companies out there that had swagger to them, man. I remember Silicon Graphics and Sun. Both of those are essentially gone. Sun is part of Oracle. You know, it's essentially gone. Silicon Graphics, they I think they're just storage now. But I remember the old Silicon Graphics Indie and the Octane. These were hot workstations, man. These were the kind of workstations that computer geeks dreamt of because you sure as hell couldn't buy one. They were just too expensive. You know. Are those the aircraft that the AP-101 is in use on right now? But none of those are particularly new, right? I mean, B-52 has been around since B-52's got gray hair, man. Know what I'm saying? No, seriously, Anthony, your grandson's name is Kylo. Is he named after Kylo Ren? Because I could see naming my daughter Ray. We didn't do that to either of our daughters, but I could see that. Um, but Kylo is a troubled individual in the movies. You had a computer with an 8-inch screen with MS-DOS. When I was in school, we had the Apple IIe, and then as I was graduating school, there were those, the Macintosh, the little tiny one, the one piece with that little tiny screen. You know, your son is a Star Wars fan. Fair enough. I'm also a Star Wars fan. If I'd had a son, I would have tried to call him Han, and my wife would have put a stop to that, and it would have been a good thing if she had. F-35 uses a more updated variant, but it's far from being cutting edge. Interesting. Well, every now and again when you go too cutting edge, you end up with with a bunch of aircraft grounded and a bunch of airlines wondering what the hell to do. So, oh, Cray, yeah, man, yeah. Oh, Cray. Who bought Cray? Who the hell bought Cray? I'm gonna look that up. You're marking both of us as being oldsters, eh? Oh, Cray still got their. Wow, Cray's still a going concern. Holy snap! Cray to deliver first U.S. exascale system. For whom? Please let it be for something scientific and not something warlike. Meet Aurora. Holy snap, guys! So many. Most of you guys are going to find this very boring, but I think that maybe Dr. Sharp and I and Simo might just geek out a little bit. Because yeah, Cray used to be like the top line supercomputer. They were huge. What's an exascale? For Argonne National Laboratory. Okay. Coming in 2021. Aurora is a Cray Shasta supercomputer with additional compute and accelerator infrastructure provided by Intel. I want to see this thing. Wow, there's a picture of it. Holy snap. But like Oh, Dr. Sharp retracted a message. Jeff, our videos. Jet powered motorcycle. Now only 350,000. What? Who's doing this? Making 11 of them? You know, my mother worked on a mainframe back in the day. I remember craze. There used to be like a round. Yeah. 5G is supposed to cook our brains. Well, it's going to be forever before we get a 5G up here, I think. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm still using an iPhone SE. Uh, the wife and I are probably going to switch that up. Quickie Frisco, because both of our phones are starting to go on us, but 5G. 5G would be nice. The thing is, I don't know if because I live in Canada, I get raped every month on the price of having one of these. Because I get raped every month on the price of having one of these, I do as little streaming on this thing outside of a Wi-Fi zone as I can. So I kind of don't care about 5G. You know, it's not something that I care about at all. I would like to see 5G done properly, and there seems to be some discussion on 5G. But you know, you know, yeah, I think that there's still a case for mainframes. Absolutely. All right, see you later, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, wait, you didn't tell us who the hell's making that jet-powered motorcycle? I bet she's already gone. I wanted to know about that jet-powered motorcycle. I think we all would have wanted to know. I mean, I'm not a big motorcycle guy, but jet-powered, I gotta know. I wonder if he's making them. Jeff R has mentioned motorcycles before. I'm gonna check him out. And check him out. No, let me just open up a window so that I remember to check him out. Jeff R videos. Boom. Okay. So I've got his. I'll just share his channel for anyone who may be curious. Deck Alpha, man, you're mentioning all the stuff from back in the day when I was like seriously into computers. I when Serge and I worked together once again. I don't know, was that 18 years ago, Serge? Like I wasn't only working at a network security firm, but I was also like into computers. I had a Power Mac 8500 that I was dual booting Mac OS and Yellow Dog Linux, but then I switched it to Mac OS and BOS. And BOS was the coolest operating system I have ever used. But when I burnt the hell out of that job, and it wasn't because of the work, it was because of the company's owner. But I did a serious ass burnout. I went to work at like a Starbucks and a bar, to sort of reseat my head. I had to do a job that took no brain power. But I had to do two jobs because I went from a career job being head of the design and documentation department to slinging coffee and beer. That was I still remember that morning. I had the pamphlet for a catamaran on my kitchen table. It was a Privilege 34 by Aliora Marine. I woke up and I didn't recognize who I was in the mirror. So I took the pamphlet, dropped it in the recycling, and quit my job. Went in, quit my job. But when I burnt out of that, I made a decision to become the most pedestrian computer user I could. just unclicked from the whole thing. And but yeah, I remember the Deck Alphas and the SGIs and the Suns. I remember Cray, you know, and those companies are not all around anymore. Everything is Compaq. You know, Compaq was irritating because at one point I was way back when I was working in a computer store. Compaq was irritating because they were kind of like Apple, and that some of the parts were really unique to Compaq. But yeah, 19 years now. Yeah. Next, well, Mac OS is based on Next Step, right? That's why there's the BSD underlayer, and you can still sort of see the next underpinnings in the general design, especially if you put the dock down the side instead of along the bottom. But yeah, but like what I want most these days. Your cell phone is more power than the last desktop you bought. Yeah, these things are. But it's funny. I mean, all these computer parts show me just how much that world has changed since I last knew anything about what I was doing. And whereas I'm excited to get this new computer all built up, and I told you I've got the monitor in the back room over there. It's a Samsung. Kind of feel like I should have gone for an LG, OLED, but whatevs. It was affordable. But on the other side of this, I want to sit in the woods, build a cabin, swing an axe, draw a saw across a log, and breathe unurbanized air. That's what I want. For all the high tech stuff, and I like being in the band. I like having my basses, especially now that I've got it down from like I think at my height I had like 6 basses or something down to 2. I've really honed it down, and I'm really trying to simplify many aspects of my life. But one thing is, and I don't know if I could give up the aspects of urban life that I enjoy to just sit in a cabin I've built full time. I don't know. But really often I just, I'm sitting there and I'm doing my work, or I'm sitting there on the bus, or I'm driving through traffic, and I just somewhere out there's a forest. It's kind of tough sometimes. I think that's part of the reason I spend, like, when I'm buying my bush tools, I never buy sort of the bottom rung. I always buy something just a little extravagant. Like I didn't have to get a small forest axe when I bought that thing. But I was so steeped in Ray Mears at that point, and I still watch him all the time. He's my favorite famous bushcrafter because he's comfort food, man, and I've mentioned that before. But he made the small forest axe famous. He I look at it and I see it in a Ray Mears context, and I like having something that iconic, and I feel closer to what he does when I'm using. Oh, this is a char cloth tin that I made for Camille, and but she took the one that I've been using, so I never. It's a good thing I actually like Altoids because I end up with many tins. Maybe I should just make Altoids tins and sell those. But well, Dr. Sharp, when when the first water cooled Mac Pro came out, that was a multi megaflops computer. I mean, those had as much power as even fairly recent supercomputers. When you're on the pro side, those computers are massively powerful. But these days, clusters are very, very crazy. Sales. Okay, that's good. If you see a good spot for us to set up and camp. Great. My sister's selling Tupperware as a fundraiser. Google is making homemade bacon using hot dogs and a rolling pin. Okay. All right. Tell us how that goes. Well, it's funny, Dr. Sharp. One of the guys at work grew up very rural, and he has no interest. He's like, no way. I was just lonely. So I can sort of see that. I see that being an issue. What am I gonna do with these tiny freaking screw drill bits? Jesus, wish.com. But I didn't grow up in the woods. I grew up urban, but jumping around the woods in my off time, I guess. So I think how long does one rolling pin? Are we still talking about the rolling pin bacon? Yeah, Serge, pick me some up. I don't know if I'm. How much is he charging for a case? Like, is it a case of 4, or is it a case of like you can buy them in 4s? I would take one. I would take that. I would take 4 cans. All right, Google, show us the recipe. Sales, yeah, okay. I'll give you. Want me to PayPal you the money? Yeah, come on, Google. I wanted to see the recipe. That was gonna be hilarious. Yeah, hey, bacon is serious talk, man. Especially when you're doing it over a campfire. Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it. Now, I have a recipe for bannock that's from I guess around I think it was it was in a book from the 50s, in the early 50s. I bet as old as my house, probably 51 or something. And it calls for, I don't remember how much, but it calls specifically for bacon grease as the lard of the fat content. And I have not seen a recipe that calls specifically for bacon grease in a long time. Like my favorite cookbook is The Joy of Cooking, right? That's old school. That's like there ain't no allowances made for healthy eating in that book, But I don't when I'm baking over an open fire, I don't when I'm cooking over an open fire, I don't always use a pan. So if I'm going to be making the bannock, I better make sure I packed a pan along. Oh, I was going to check for a really cheap. Hey, Simon, you want to drop Outdoor Dauber a note and tell him we're live streaming for like another 28 minutes? See if he's around, because he's got a small pan, like the size that I would like to bring, to add to my bushcraft kit. Because I I don't hike like 10 kilometers into the woods, so I can carry a little bit, but I also don't drive right up to camp, you know. So I don't want to. What I would like is a really small cast iron pan, and I know you can get them at Walmart and stuff. Um, I I keep going past there's a thrift store down near the A&W at the bottom of my street, and I keep going in there hoping to see some good stuff, and they never have anything, man. It's like fur coats and like Belle Biv DeVoe cassettes kind of thing. Where some of the guys who are on this live stream right now, man, they walk into a thrift store and they come out with like a wool blanket and a cast iron frying pan, you know? Google. I'm in Montreal. I'm in the French part of the country. But yeah, it's like the thrift stores in this town are not they're not as good as some of the more rural ones, you know. Oh, you're in Ottawa. Yeah, you're just down the road, a couple of hours away, or an hour and a half, depending on how you drive. Whenever I'm in Ottawa, I make sure that I stop off at the Bridgehead, buy some tea, have a little snack. What else do I do in Ottawa? Ottawa is where I used to have to go if I wanted to go to Lee Valley, but now there's one in Laval. Yeah, that's cool. In Ottawa itself, or like the Ottawa Valley, because Wood Pigeon's not on any. Oh, Wood Pigeon is there. Yeah. The bridgehead I go to the most is what the hell's the name of that street? There's one pretty. There's one kind of like downtown, sort of close to the Parliament buildings. Like, oh, I guess the whole town is sort of close to Parliament compared to where I am, but Westboro, okay. Yeah, Sparks. Yeah, I like that area of Ottawa. My band keeps trying to get in at get a gig at was it the Rose and Crown, the something in Crown, the Heart and Crown, the thing in Crown, the Crowny Crown. I don't know. Is it Rose and Crown? That Irish pub? Heart and Crown. Yeah, we keep trying to get a gig there, but they don't know us, so it's tough to get into Ottawa when you're a Montreal band. Some Montreal bands sort of they play Ottawa like it's like their second home, but man, if you're not already in that circuit, it's tough to break in. Just making sure. What did you guys suggest when it came to cleaning these gloves? Because I was going to take notes, and then I was going to. Oh, it still smells of the campfire. Forget it. I'm never cleaning them again. Okay, Simo. We'll see you later. Yeah, I can't remember what you guys said would work for saddle soap. Thank you. And then like open-offs to treat it later, was it? You're in Westboro. Google. Yeah. Saddle soap. Outdoor Dauber is finally here. I was just talking about tiny like a tiny cast iron frying pan, and I think I remember you have one, right? Because I was saying that like when I do the bushcraftings, I don't hike 10K to get to base camp or anything, but I also don't drive right up to it. So I want to bring a little cast iron thing because I'm not afraid of having a little weight, but I don't want a full size one because you know. All right, Simone. See you later. Everyone say bye to Simone. Altoids, a little dabble do, yeah. That was the last one. So I've got all these empty cans. Well, this one's already char cloth. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Outdoors got a small frying pan. So he can tell you what. Because I was saying, Google sort of jokingly said that he was making bacon by rolling out hot dogs. And that got me to thinking about a recipe I have for bannock that calls for however much of bacon fat. And for, if I'm to collect, because I would like to one day do a video, like an overnighter, cook up my bacon, use the fat to make bannock, because bannock is where it's at. But like, you can't just cook your bacon on a rack if you're going to use the recipe I have for bannock, Giant Tiger has cast iron pans for $14. I think there might be a Giant Tiger around here somewhere. $14 is pretty good. It's funny how affordable cast iron has become, and I'm wondering why, You have a small carbon steel pan, and you're gonna commandeer a 5-inch cast iron. Your wife has a decoration. Let us know how that goes, okay? 20 minutes to go, folks. Yeah, but I wonder what goes into affordable cast iron versus, because you can still spend bank on a good cast iron pan, and excuse me, is it just the thickness of the metal, or is there a different grade of iron being used in these really affordable ones? That wildlife one from Walmart, yeah, and that one's affordable as hell, even at Walmart.ca. Because sometimes Walmart.com is cheap as chips, and then Walmart.ca is not. Let me just check that again. Cast iron pan at Wildlife, because I think I even found that specific. The Pioneer Woman timeless 3-piece cast iron set. Pre-seasoned. No, I don't want pre-seasoned. I'm going to control that myself. Sabatier. Pre-seasoned rust-resistant cast iron. Where is that Wildlife one? Much Lodge. Oh, they've got a cast iron melting pot. Camp Chef. Because cast iron is great for a campsite, You don't have to baby it the way you do Teflon, and I've gone completely against Teflon. Like, we've slowly been getting rid of our Teflon over the times, but I don't want any Teflon near the food that my children are eating. Lodge Wildlife Series. Okay. Outdoor, you just keep finding great stuff, and I just keep envying it. Lodge. I'm looking for that. Because they've got a miniature skillet for $9.98 Canuckian, but that's small, man. How big is that? Doesn't even say. What's up with that? Oh. Well, it doesn't give the size. It just says mini. This would be a perfect spoon rest as you're doing your cooking. I don't know how big it is. I love this pan for making breakfast sandwiches. Oh, okay. So it's a tiny. No, that's too small. I'll take a look at it again. I'm not in a hurry because I don't have an overnighter in my near future, you know? Tefal cast iron? No. All right, see you later, Wood Pigeon. Say hi to Jill for us. Yeah, 6-inch pan is probably pretty good. If nothing sticks to Teflon, how does Teflon stick to the pan? Through magic and pixie dust. I think Gore-Tex is a Teflon product, isn't it? Because that's what I heard in the on the Trial by Fire podcast I was listening to last week. I think Gore-Tex is Teflon treated. Oh, not pixie dust. Apparently, according to Sash, it's actually voodoo magic. I prefer pixie dust myself. You don't have to pay the piper quite as much. I'm not underestimating. I'm just saying one does not mess with voodoo, even when it comes to putting Teflon onto a pan. But yeah, yeah, I I don't mind Gore-Tex jackets, but I've become really much more aware of what happens when you're cooking like on a metal pan or a Teflon pan than I used to be, and I am way over the Teflon, you know. I'm not even sure. You know my enamel tea can? Well, I dropped it on the concrete floor in the unfinished part of my basement and knocked a chip off the outside and inside. And I've noticed that as I boil my water and stuff, the metal underneath has become really warped. And so I'm wondering if maybe I shouldn't replace it because I don't know about transferring you know metal particles to the tea or whatever. I've been reading up on whether or not chipped um, enamelware is safe to use, and apparently it's safe to use, but I worry. You know what I'm saying? I worry. What do you guys think? How many of you guys use enamel? To me, enamel is like the quintessential camping cup. Um, I love me some enamelware. Enamel is what old time camping stuff was when I was growing up. And I do loves it. I do loves it dearly. It's if you're a weight weenie, that's a mountain biking term. What do they call it in hiking? Ultralight. If you're one of them, you're not going to go for the enamelware stuff. But there's a real old school magic to it that I just can't get over. And again, I'm not hiking 20K. I'm hiking 500 meters. It's fine. You know. I've still got to find a way to pack more effectively though, because Serge and I still end up doing like 3 trips back to the car kind of thing. Um, I mean, there are 2 of us, and we've both got stuff. But you've seen enamel coated cast iron pans? Yeah, I have to. Love the idea of enamelware, but hate the heat transfer. Oh, you mean like when you pick up a cup and you're like, "Geez, get some gloves on, man." Yeah, but I mean that's why I've got these enamelware. So I don't know. Yeah, uh, I'll keep reading on it because it's not unaffordable to get a new tea can. It's money I'd rather not spend, but you know, I will think on it. I really like that tea can. That's one of the best things I've bought for my bush stuff. Um, like non axe related. You carry a stainless steel bush pot, carbon steel pan, wool blankets in Alice packs or an LK35. You don't mind the weight. Is that bush pot the zebra can, the zebra the Billy pot, or do you have the Morris pot? I have the Morris pot. I think mine's anodized aluminium though. I don't think mine's stainless. I couldn't afford the stainless at the time. You keep using it, yeah. Oh, nice one, Serge. Serge got himself a double-walled aluminium cup from Dollarama. Yeah, we got to build Serge's bush kit up a little bit. And if we do our stuff right, we might eventually get him to start a channel. Then we can do so many collabs. Double-walled aluminium cup. Like the one that's just straight up. It's like not colored or anything. It's just a straight up aluminium cup. I think I saw that one as well. 14 centimeters is a good size. You need a better computer for that? Well, you just get the new Mac Mini. Oh yeah, I was watching. I just had a brain fart. I know where I saw mention of the Mac Mini on the YouTubes this week. It was a Peter Paul Chato video, and he was saying that the onboard GPU is anemic, and that for some reason an eGPU is not a solution. I don't know. You should take a look at that. And then he probably just seasons it the way I season my cast iron. Serge is he's starting to put together some nice kit. Yeah, that's true. He's got the axes squared away, that's for sure. He needs to get himself a maple made buck saw, like I got. Okay. I got a picture here from Serge. It's the one of those ones with the carabiner. Okay. Can I show the guys? Serge, can I show this image to the guys? Yeah, that's what I figured. Season it like cast iron. Is that showing up? Boom. You can clip that to a backpack. Please note, I tore my freaking thumbnail off this week. That was painful. That was painful. Yeah. Sales needs a Walters. I need more Walters. I need a Walters double bit with an octagonal handle. You know what I'm saying? Boom. I never even heard of a carbon steel pan, I don't think. Like, how does that... Like, if you have a stainless pan, and you don't cook right on it, you end up with all this crap caked onto it, and you're scrubbing like hell. Whereas with cast iron, it's practically problem free. How does a carbon steel pan work in compared? Like, what's the cooking, character on that? Good old outdoor. A good wok is carbon steel. Yeah, our wok is not good. It's a Teflon one, which makes me love using it. Right? I'd like to get a good wok. We don't use a wok a lot anymore, though. I used to, when I was living solo, I used to wok all the time. I was constantly doing stir fries and stuff. That was the way I did supper, as a bachelor. But we don't do a lot of wok cooking. Cold handle skillets are carbon steel. Once you have them seasoned, they work great. Cold handle. Okay. Are they expensive? And like, do they heat up the way cast iron does? I find with stainless pans and stuff, you need something with a thick bottom on them. Otherwise it's just the heat transfer is terrible. You know what I'm saying? Do you know that of which I speak? I used to use these military steel pans. We used to wash them with sand from streams. I have a Trangia cook set. Like it's a mess kit, you know. It's really thin bottom, so it's bloody useless for. It's just a stamped aluminum thing. I don't think you're supposed to cook in it though. I think it's you serve yourself some slop from the pot and you eat it out of the mess kit. Because it's way too, the metal is way too thin for cooking. You know, and if you with a nice heavy metal, not heavy metal, but like a nice heavy bottom pan or a cast iron or something, I find that it's about 10 to 15 US. Okay. Um, it's just not as hard to get something like that clean as with a really thin bottomed pan. Oh, but cook fairly well. Okay. Okay, that's good to know. Because I'm looking at this as what will cook well on coals? Cast iron. What else will cook well on coals? I don't know. Will carbon steel cook well on coals? Maybe. Well, you say that they do. So and that because that changes the context, right? Cooking on my glass topped cooktop is one thing. Cooking over flames or coals, not the same. Hold on, Serge, you got help for review. I shall take a look at this link out. Hold on, guys. I'm just going to see what Serge has just sent. Boop de boop de boop de boop boop. Oops. No, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. That's because of the .com. Heavy duty 2-piece camp cook set. Oh, it ended. What? Let's see what's in it with extras. Oh yeah, I've seen those. That's what you used to use. Yeah, get another set. Why not? Cold handle skillet. Okay. Okay. Boom. Cold. Because I have this thing where what I would like to do is whoops, that's all cloud. That's not cold handle. Hold on. I buggered that. Cold handle skillet. Cold handle skillet. Now shipping to Canada. Well, thank you, but I'm not finding it. Cold handle skillet. Oh, on eBay. All right, I'll take a look. Whatevs. Vintage 7 cold handle Acme tin frying pans. Oh, look at them. Cold handle metal fry pan. If they're tin, then that's what Mr. Kephart, Mr. Nesmuk says to have. He says, you get yourself some good tin cookware, a good tin pan. Yeah, those yeah, we really got to get our cooking and serving stuff down. We got to get our meal kits down pat, I think, eh, Serge? Like I got to bring a fork, and we got to have something as a plate so that we're not stuck only doing wraps for the rest of, like what we should do is one day do an overnighter. But for that we need plates to do our meals on. Oh, it's 22:59. Okay. So in 1 minute we will be over. And then I'm gonna go the hell to bed because I'm wrecked. This weekend has been busy. And it's all been like cleaning and drilling stuff into walls and stuff. But yeah, Sebs, let's take it offline and see what we can do about like a little meal solution. 2,300 hours. Okay, I'm out of here. See you guys. I hope on Tuesday for the scheduled live stream as opposed to this surprise one. But have a good night, everyone, and I hope to see you guys later.